Namaste.
Visible to you?
Hello. How are you?
Hello, namaste.
Namaste.
I'm good, thank you. How are
Good. Good, thank you.
you? So let's begin today's session. Sit in any comfortable pose. Now close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. A long exhale out. We will chant 3 times Om together. Inhale. Join your hands together in front of your heart center. Bow your head down. Open your eyes while blinking. Namaste once again. I'm just coming in a minute. Huh? Okay, so yesterday, whatever we discussed, did you understand properly?
That's quite hard to answer because everything's still sort of coming together, and I think, isn't it, each time you learn something, you simulate it, and then you realize, oh, there's so much more to learn. So I think it's I think I do, but then
it's very hard to whenever we are discussing something again and again, so we get new things all the time. So that you may
yes.
have found yesterday, like we were talking about that reward triangle pose that we have already understood, but sometimes there is something that we usually miss. So that
Absolutely.
happened yesterday too.
Yeah, that I think it's I can say I've understood, but I know that there's much more to learn, and each time there's a class, something else is picked up. So I'd say that I'm still learning. I've got that sort of practice from classes of where to move, but I'm still learning about, okay, so what actually is going on in my body, which muscle is being used. You know, that's deepening all the time, I think, that side.
Okay, so do you have any questions about any posture? So let's start with that. Otherwise,
I think I'm realizing that the transition chaturanga into upward facing dog, because I think I realized that I've been mixing up hatha with the is it the 8-pointed star with the Ashtanga. So I think my transition is a little bit wobbly there, and my strength limits that, and my balance. I think, as I was saying a few days ago, the standing postures, that's limited because I've got tight hamstrings and hips. I've got to And I think.
So do you know the difference between Ashtanga and Hatha Yoga? Like perfect difference.
How would I explain that different?
Do you know the difference? Like in Ashtanga, we do have series, but in Hatha Yoga, that will be more like it will be slower than your Ashtanga Vinyasa.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
So, but when it comes to your Vinyasa class, so that will be as same as like your Ashtanga Vinyasa.
Yes.
Okay. So the most traditional yoga is Hatha Yoga. Then after that we have Ashtanga Yoga, Ashtanga Vinyasa. Then we have this Vinyasa. Okay. So this Vinyasa can be combined with your Ashtanga and Hatha Yoga. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's suppose, for instance, if you're making Vinyasa flow. So what happens in your Vinyasa flow? We do have two postures and we have to make transition in between both of them.
Yes.
So that Vinyasa. Like let's go on the tabletop, you want to stand up, you want to stand pose. You cannot directly stand up into Tadasana because it's not Hatha Yoga. Okay, so let's suppose this is your Vinyasa class. Okay, so in Vinyasa class, if you are resting into the child pose, and if you want to get up and stand up straight into Tadasana or tree pose, we cannot directly say like just stand up straight and get to the Tadasana or come to the Tadasana, right?
You do the
But
vinyasa to move into it.
make transition like that should be smooth, that should be in flow, that should not be like directly getting into the posture. So Vinyasa basically means one breath, one movement, and one instruction should be there. Okay, one breath, one movement, and one instruction. For from the child pose, if you want to get to the Tadasana, so what are we going to say? Like first we will get to the tabletop, then plank, downward facing dog. After that, we will get into halfway lookup or forward bend. Then we'll get to the Tadasana. Okay, so don't directly get into this Tadasana from the child pose or from any other pose. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is all about Vinyasa. So in Vinyasa, if you pick up 4 and 5 postures, for instance, you pick up you pick up 4 and 5 postures, and let's suppose warrior A, warrior C, or reverse warrior, side angle pose, all 4 poses you picked up. Okay, so you can easily make 15 minutes Vinyasa, 15 minutes class in there with these 4 poses. How? You will start with your child pose, you will start with your tabletop, then you will go further into plank, then downward facing dog, chaturanga, upward facing dog, all these poses. Then you will get to one posture like warrior A. After that, do not directly get to the warrior B because we do have another posture, warrior B. We will complete our warrior A, then we'll again get to chaturanga dandasana, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. We will jump forward halfway. Like so, this is more like a sun salutation. But
Yes.
we have picked up few postures like which we want to like put them in between these poses, right? So this is your Vinyasa. Vinyasa is nothing but it's like it should be a little interesting, it should be a little exciting so that people do not get bored. Okay, so this is the main purpose. What I feel like, it increases your strength, it increases your flexibility at the same time, and the main purpose is to synchronize the synchronization of your breath and the movement. The more you synchronize, the better understanding you will have in your muscles.
Thank you. Can I just check? So say if you were following purely Ashtanga, then you would go through the sun salutation A, B, standing, sitting, reclining, with series A anyway, and then the finishing poses. But with Vinyasa, you've got a bit more flexibility. Obviously you're transitioning and you're one breath, one movement, but you could put in any sequence within that. It doesn't have to stay in that order of Ashtanga. Is that right?
Yeah, it's right. But in Vinyasa, we have to keep one thing in our mind that if your hips are square, so we have to we have to do all those postures whichever is following that square hip, like your that hips whichever is following that square hips, that we are going to do. Okay, for instance, if you are doing warrior A,
Yeah.
so in whatever posture we are having our hips we will following up one hip, otherwise we will break our flow. For instance, for warrior A, from warrior A we can get to warrior C. What else? Standing split or three. From the warrior
Oh, sorry, it's all breaking up. I'm sorry, I missed what you were saying.
Your hips were
I'm going to turn my video off, see if that helps.
hello.
Hello, I'm still here. Can you hear me? Hello, can you still hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it says that the bandwidth is low. I missed all of that you were saying. I heard you say, so say if you start with warrior A and your hips are facing forward, then the sequence of...
Okay. Just let me turn off my video. Maybe then you won't have any problem.
Thank you.
Okay. So what I'm saying here is, if you are following up vinyasa sequence where your hips are completely square, so we are going to do all those poses wherever our hips are square. Okay, let's suppose you're doing warrior A. Okay, so if you want to follow up more poses, if you want to add on more poses after that, what can they be? They can be like your high lunge, low lunge. What else? Your three-leg downward facing dog, standing split, warrior C. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
And humble warrior. So in all these poses, we do have square hips. All right. We from warrior A, we cannot directly get to the warrior B because the distance between your legs that will be different, and your hips position that are also going to be different. So that is why usually in vinyasa we try to keep our hips. If you are following up, if you're following up that square hips poses,
yes,
you just need to stick into there. Then you will have nice vinyasa. Otherwise, you will get. Otherwise, it will be hard to flowing with that.
Yeah, the flow isn't the same.
Yeah, that will not be the same.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is why in vinyasa class, we have to always keep in our mind that our hips, if we are following our square hips poses, then we need to always stick into there. If you are doing opening of hips, if you are doing open hips poses, then you just need to be stick there into this open hips poses like this. Okay.
Yes, that makes
So
sense.
that's how we can increase our flexibility.
And so say if so in a class, we might would we focus on one thing like hip opening?
Yes, that is your Hatha Yoga. See, in Hatha Yoga, basically we work on one particular reason. For instance, if you are working for the back bend, so in the entire class, in the whole class, we will just do back bend poses, the maximum back bend poses. We will also do forward bend. We will also do twisting, but the main purpose will be your back bend. Okay, so in the Hatha Yoga class, we work on one particular thing, on one particular reason. But in Vinyasa class, basically we do not like work on that particular thing. Okay. So once you have got enough flexibility in your body after doing Hatha Yoga, then people prefer to go for Vinyasa. Once they have enough flexibility, then they can easily move. If you're not flexible, how you will move? You cannot make that flow. You cannot make that transition. It will be hard in the beginning for them.
Oh.
Okay, just let me tell you one thing about this vinyasa. So this vinyasa is divided into two segments. Okay, so first is your hatha vinyasa. Okay, and second is your dynamic flow.
Right.
Okay, just let's talk about this hatha vinyasa. Okay, so in hatha vinyasa we are just looking for the purpose. This is your theme based class. Theme based class means your if you're looking for the back bend poses, or if you're looking like you have already got theme in your mind that we gonna do today back bend, we're gonna do forward bend, we're gonna do hip opening, we're gonna do arm balancing sequences and all. So you just need to have that theme in your mind before the class or when you enter into the class. Then we go according to that. We follow up that hatha vinyasa. Okay, but if you do not have theme, you don't want any stretches, you just want to maximize the strength, then we will jump into dynamic flow. Okay, so these were two parts: hatha vinyasa, second is your dynamic flow. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, just make that note. Just make write it down everything on your note. I'm
I
just
have
telling.
done.
Okay, so let's form our class according to that hatha vinyasa. Okay, so how do we usually start our class? With Om chanting, right?
Om chanting, yeah, come and settle our
Yeah,
body and
yeah.
mind, and then sun salutation.
Yes. So no, not directly sun salutation. In hatha vinyasa or any yoga class, we directly do not do sun salutation, but except Ashtanga vinyasa.
Oh. Oh.
Okay. So
Okay.
why is it so? Because in sun salutation, we do not have, like if you are beginner or anybody who is entering into your class, if you just start with your Ashtanga sun salutation or Hatha sun salutation, they are not open. They are not open with their joints. I mean, they haven't, stretched. They have not stretched their joint. They haven't got enough mobility on their joints. So it will be hard
Yeah.
for them to bend forward. It will be hard for them to stretch their legs out or in. Okay, so how we gonna start? We're gonna start with Om chanting first. Then we will sit up straight into any comfortable pose. Okay, so this is your warming up sequence or that which increases your mobility. So just make column. First column is your Om chanting. Second column is your warming up sequence.
Yeah.
Okay, which awakens our joints, which awakens our muscles to they trigger out our muscles. Just wake up and start to practice. So that is a second column. In that second column, what do? We do side stretches. We do twisting, like lateral bending, twisting,
Yeah.
like joint movements, leg movements, and your head movement, neck movement. So all these we do in this column.
Yes.
Okay. So after that, what columns come? What do you feel like? What should come after that?
I would think something like cat and cow, maybe.
Yes, cat and cow. So in this cat and cow, we do have so many, not so many, just number of uh, number of transition or number of variation we can add on in cat and cow, like thread and needle, uh, cat and uh, cat and cow, and donkey kicks. We can open our hips, we can rotate them out, we can get to this you know mm, we
Pigeon
can lift
pose.
our, yeah, pigeon pose.
That's quite intense, though. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we will do it later. Okay, so just here we will work on our wrist movement, we will work on our hip joint, we will work on our spine. Like our body is now getting ready to get to that intense point or that peak point. So this is your hatha vinyasa. We are working on one particular region, like your hip, your back, or any part of your body.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are working there. So here our graph is increasing. Like in the beginning we were just
our body was just woke up, and then we just starting to like just making it ready for this peak pose. So here warming up is like increasing high. So after this cat and cow sequence, we will get to the sun salutation, because now your body is enough, enough mobile. They are This is ready to do sun salutation. Earlier it was not ready because our joints were not ready to do the sun salutation, because in Ashwa Sanchalan what happens, if you get catches in your muscles, if you get cramps in your like on your nerves and all, or if you get injured, or like something anything can happen in your joints when you do Ashwa Sanchalan or downward facing dog, because we are not enough movement right there. So after cat and cow, we will get to the sun salutation. We'll do 3 or 4 rounds of sun salutation. After that, what we gonna do?
If
Instead,
we've got our theme, I guess we prepare for that theme.
yeah.
No?
According to the theme, according to the theme, we will do the poses. Okay, this column is your preparatory poses. Preparatory
Mhm.
poses, or this is your preparation for the peak pose.
Mhm.
Let's suppose you're doing back bend. Peak poses theme is your back bend. So whatever poses which makes your spine warmed, we will do all those poses there.
And
All right.
is there, this is so helpful. I think I've missed this out in the videos I've watched, haven't picked it up. Is
Yeah.
there a number of poses that's thought of as being ideal to prepare? Or does it really depend on what the ultimate theme is?
Yeah. Alternate poses that can be like for, let's suppose your
Oh, I've lost you again.
theme is back bend. So we will do Chalana or Cobra pose, or what else you can do, like
I can't hear you.
child pose. This, yeah, I said in the
So you're saying if the theme is a back bend, then we're thinking of poses to prepare for that.
sequence, we will do this for 10 times, 15 times, or we can do half a lookup, downward facing dog. In that, we also have that nice stretches on our shoulder. Hello,
Hello? I lost
hello,
connection.
can you hear me?
I can now. I'm. I know this must be frustrating, but I've missed, I think, most of what you said about preparing for back bends.
Okay. In the preparatory poses, we will do all those poses which can easily awaken our spine. Okay,
Fine. Yeah.
like your that sequence from child pose to cobra pose, child pose to cobra. So pose we can do it for 10 times, 15 times. It will easily like raising our body warmed.
Yes.
Or what else you can do, like chair pose. In chair pose we will do twisting, because twisting is also required in the back bend. We will do
Yep.
shoulder stretches, because shoulder stretches are also required in the back bend.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's suppose your peak pose is your camel pose. Peak pose is camel pose. So we will do all those poses in which we are having that stretches on our shoulders, on our lower back, on our hips and all. All right.
Hmm. Yep.
So this is your preparatory poses. So this should take much time. Like
Okay.
you have to spend much, like so much time over here, because this is your preparatory poses. If you do these preparatory poses perfectly, then you can easily get to the peak pose. So
Hmm.
you won't get injured, otherwise you won't get injured. Okay, so it all depends on the preparatory poses. If you do preparatory poses very hard, like generously, then you won't fall into injury. But if you don't do preparatory poses perfectly, then we may fall into injury. So that is why preparatory poses that should take enough time to get our spine warmed. Okay.
Understood. Yeah.
Yeah. After that, we will get to the peak pose. Peak pose, that will not take much time. It will take only 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Let's suppose your peak pose is camel pose or chakrasana.
Mhm.
Any peak pose you can take, like camel pose. In the camel pose, what are we going to do? We're gonna take the support of the wall. We will start to deepen into the posture, and we will have, like, we'll also hold there for
Mhm.
10 counts or 15 counts with the synchronization of your breath with the movement. Okay.
Okay.
After that peak pose, what are we supposed to do? Any idea?
Imagine a counter pose.
Yeah, the counter pose. Okay. So see, our graph was at very low now earlier. Now it's increasing. Now it's at the peak. It's on the top. Okay. So after that peak pose, we are just decreasing down. We are decreasing down into that, to the same level as we started
I
in
see
the
what you
beginning.
mean. Yes.
Yeah, we just warming down our, we will do all those poses whichever has that warming down sequence, like your counter poses. This is warming down your body. This is not,
Not activating it
it's more
anymore. You
like a
want.
warming down sequence. We will do, yeah, not activating anymore. We are just relaxing ourselves. Okay. So all those counter poses for the back bend. So these counter poses should not be, that much intense. That should be, uh, this should be, these poses should be easily done. Like, let's suppose the peak pose that took 10 minutes to get there. For the counter pose, that will only take 5 minutes or 4 minutes, like half of that, or
Okay.
less than half of that timing. After that, what are we supposed to do? What do you feel like?
So this is after the counter poses.
Yeah, after the counter poses, what are we gonna do? We will
I,
do
I
relaxing
might be
poses.
jumping. Might be jumping to the end, but I was thinking then it's sort of shavasana and slowing the breath down and into
Yeah, yeah,
something
we
in
will do
between
all
that.
relaxing poses. Yeah, you can add on something between. You can add on like warming down sequence or that relaxing poses. Like, you can raise your legs or extend your legs against the wall and open them out, or you can do butterfly, lying on the posture behind, and you can take your legs up, and
And the side lying on
what
your
else you
back
can
and
do?
then stretching
Yeah,
your.
yeah, yeah. Yes, all those poses. Okay. After that, we will lie down on our back, and then we will do twisting, like that abdomen twisting, or any other twisting, that whatever you want. Okay. Or then just lie down to shavasana. So these are your columns that we gonna make for this hatha vinyasa.
Ah.
But in dynamic flow, it will be different, because we are not working out on one particular thing. We're just working out entire body.
Yeah. And say if you had a class and you wanted to build in
Okay. Hatha
breathing
vinyasa.
with a hatha vinyasa.
Yeah, breathing.
Sorry,
Have you got everything about this hatha vinyasa?
I've written down everything you've said, and then I'm going to look at it later and research it and and really digest it. But I've written everything down, and it's I had no idea about um the proportions
Okay.
and
So
yeah.
I will send like one table to you, so that it's going to be easy.
Thank you.
Okay. So in this dynamic flow, just let's talk about this dynamic flow. In the dynamic flow, what happens? We'll do the same thing like Om chanting, then
Yeah.
we'll do joint movements. Not that much. We'll do a little joint movement and cat and cow positions. And then sun salutation. In sun salutation, we'll not do proper sun salutation. We'll make variation in there. Like let's suppose you're doing sun salutation A. In sun
Yeah.
salutation A, you can add on warrior A. You can add on warrior B, low lunge, side lunge, everything. Okay, anything that you can add on there. After that, what we had earlier preparatory poses, that column. Now we will add on another column. That will be your warrior sequence. In the warrior sequence, that will be your symmetric poses. If you're doing it from right side, you have to do it from the other side too, like warrior 8, triangle pose, side angle pose, or Ekhastapadam Ushtanasana, or pyramid pose. Any poses that you are doing, these are your symmetric poses. So these comes in your warrior sequence. Okay, so you can pick up from the Ashtanga Vinyasa. It's going to be easy to understand. You can add on any poses in this column, in this warrior sequence. Okay, after that we have another column, that is your leg balancing sequence. In that we'll find the balance on our one leg only. For like warrior C, half moon, Ardha Chandrasan, and one leg chair pose, eagle pose, Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana, half lotus forward bend. We can twist our spine, we can extend our leg and then grab that leg from the other hand, twist our spine like this. And you can add on, like it depends like how creative you are and how you can make transition in between two poses. Okay. After that column, what are we gonna do? We're gonna do all those strengthening part. Now we will work on our arms, that arm strengthening column. Okay, after this leg balancing sequence, we have that arm strengthening column, arm strengthening sequence. In that arm strengthening sequence, what poses they come into there? Your downward facing dog, planks, side plank, 3-leg downward facing dog, even wild thing, that also comes in your arm strengthening sequence. Okay. And you can make variation in the plank, like you can from 3-leg downward facing dog, you will bring your knee forward, you can get to the side plank, you will extend your one leg forward and other leg will be straight behind, like something like, okay. After that column, what should come?
Could you do core?
Yes, we will do little core exercises, but it's better to keep this core column later.
Okay, so legs.
Because in the core, basically we lie down, right? In the core exercises, we usually lie down on our back and then we do like nobody wants to, if once we lie down on our mat, then we don't want to get up again. So that's why I'm just leaving it later. Okay. So after this, we will do hip opening. Hip opening, like that will be generous hip opening, that will not be intense, like frog pose. You will open your legs against the wall. It's again warming down sequence kind of. And we can do butterfly poses, and we can do frog pose, like in the goddess pose, that we can also do. So this should not be intense, this should be relaxing one. These are passive stretches, these are not active stretches. You will take the support of anything, like any prop, like block. You can take the support of the wall, you can take the support of that, that
Sorry,
strap.
what's the reason for it being passive and not active at this stage?
Active is like when you are not when you're not supported and you are full conscious of that stretches. But passive is something when you are stretching your body, but you are also taking the support, and this is not getting that much intense. In
Mm.
active, you will feel that intensity, but in passive, you will have that stretches, but it will not be that much intense.
Mm.
So that we can differentiate easily with these explanation. Did you understand?
Yes. Yes. So hip
Let's suppose,
opening, but passive.
yeah, let's suppose you're doing Paschimottanasana. If you're not taking any support in Paschimottanasana, you're just getting down, and you will have that stretches on your back of your leg.
Yeah.
See, in the active stretches, we usually have injuries, but in passive stretches, we do not have injuries.
Okay.
Okay. So in active poses, what happens? Sometimes we lost our consciousness from that particular reason, and then it's like your tendency of a muscle is to contract when it's pulling too
Yes.
much forward beyond its limit. Then your muscle's tendency is to squeeze or contract. Right? These are called mm, these are like contraction, concentric movements, eccentric movements. So if you're going beyond the limit of your stretches, then your muscle will start to contract,
Yes.
right? So here, if you're not active, if you're not enough conscious of that stretches, then maybe we will fall into injury. But in passive stretches, what's gonna happen? We're gonna take that strap, like
Mm.
that strap is going to wrap your lower back to your feet.
Mm.
Okay, so still you're having that stretches on your spine, on your legs, but you're holding there, and you can hold there for long period of time. In
Yeah.
passive stretches, we can hold for long period of time, but in active stretches, we cannot hold.
Yes.
Okay. And this after this hip opening, we will do like generous back bends. Like we will use block underneath our back. Like
Mm-hmm.
let's suppose you're in the supinated position, and then you're using the block behind your back, or you can do what else you can do? You can take the support of the wall and then getting into Cobra Pose. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Like your face is facing to the wall, and then you're stretching your arm up or lowering your hands down. It depends, and then you're stretching. So that is also passive.
Yes.
Or like fist pose or bridge pose. That is also kind of back bend, in that you're gonna use the block underneath your lower back, and then you're going to hold there as long as you want to
Mm.
strengthen, to maximize the strength of your lower back.
Yeah.
So that you can also do. After that back bend column, see, as it was not that much intense, so we don't need to have that counter poses for that.
Okay.
Okay. But still, if you need to have that counter poses, you can always do the counter poses. This is not like, it's not said that don't do counter poses. You can do counter poses. Okay.
Yep.
After that, now we will, yeah, yeah, Jane.
I'm still here. I'm writing everything down as you talk.
Okay, so after that, what we gonna do? What do you feel like? Now we will do core exercises, core workout.
Forward bends.
Like core workout. Yeah, your core workout.
Oh, core workout. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Your core workout we're gonna do. In this core workout, we can raise our legs into 90-degree angle. We'll bring them down, and we'll do, that board poses or any other poses wherever you are engaging your abdomen, like planks, side planks, or like forearm plank. Basically, in the forearm plank, we have more engagement as compared to full plank in our abdomen.
Yeah. Would we do things like boat pose as well in that?
Yeah, the board pose that we can also do. Okay. After that, what we gonna do? We will do twistings, like supinated twistings. We will lie down, and we can make eagle legs, and then we'll twist out to the sideways, and we can do happy baby too in the hip opening.
Mm-hmm.
So these are like, that's how we're gonna make this dynamic flow. And this dynamic flow is a little advanced, because we see, once you have enough flexibility, then you can do dynamic flow. If you do not have flexibility, that will be hard to like maximize the benefits of the posture. Let's say if you're not flexible, we are not flexible from our hamstring. Do you really think that we can easily do warrior A pose or wide leg forward bend? Is going to be hard for us to like feel that pose, right? We
Yeah.
will feel that pose, but we will not we will not we cannot deepen into that pose. So that's why I'm telling, we in the beginning we are supposed to do hatha yoga, because
Yeah.
the hatha yoga is gonna give you that nice stretches. It's gonna make you flexible. After that, that is then we can do vinyasa. So that's why earlier we had hatha yoga, then Ashtanga Vinyasa came into existence. This Ashtanga Vinyasa was like, was getting very tough for all those people who were not flexible. Then they
Yeah.
made this Vinyasa. So in Vinyasa, they divide this into Hatha Vinyasa and dynamic flow. In Hatha Vinyasa, Hatha Yoga is added and a little Vinyasa is added. So they both are combined. But in dynamic flow, everything is combined and it is going to take you to the another level, or is going to increase the level of your strength.
So we've got all of the joint mobility, building up the flexibility
Yeah,
in Hatha yoga.
yeah.
Then we could bring in some Hatha Vinyasa, and then it's the dynamic flow
Yes,
in terms of sort of building up the intensity and
yes. Did you understand all everything whatever we talked about, we discussed?
I think so. Though I'm left thinking about, so with the dynamic flow you've told me all the columns, and then you're thinking of how you transition from each pose
Yeah. See,
in a
let's say if you want to make transition in between any poses, let's suppose if you're doing warrior sequence, so it's not necessary to do all the time. Like let's suppose you're doing warrior column, okay, warrior
yeah.
sequence column you're doing. So once you are done with your warrior column, and then you are jumping into this one leg balance sequence. And if you have got three leg downward facing dog, or one leg chair pose, so it's not about that. You just need to stick into that one column, that one leg balancing poses. You can also pick up few poses from the warrior sequence, and then in order to make good transition, okay, so you can make transition in the one leg balancing sequence. Did you understand what I mean?
I
Okay,
think
okay, let
so.
me explain it one more time. So let's suppose you're doing one leg balancing sequence, and
Yep.
in order to make the good sequence in between two poses in this one leg balance sequence, this from the warrior sequence. Okay,
Yeah.
you can do downward facing dog, you can do warrior A too. Let's suppose you're doing warrior C in the leg balance sequence, and
Yeah.
then you're dropping your back leg down into high lunge. This is your warrior sequence, so that is not wrong, you can add on there. After that, again you are swinging your leg forward and twisting your spine and grabbing your leg, or from the eagle legs you can wrap your leg and then take leg back for the triangle pose. Okay, so you can do any column, you can pick up any poses from any column, and then in order to make good transition in between two poses,
Yes.
because it's all about vinyasa. It's like all vinyasa. So vinyasa is all about the transition, how we make that inflow.
Yes. And
Yes.
that's the bit that I don't have automatically I can't pick it up in my head. I haven't got like a automatic sequence in my head that I go, oh yes, that's that. That's the bit I'll need to
Yes,
learn more
yes.
about, I think.
Maybe that was helpful for you to make your own class if you're gonna make.
Yes. I think, I mean, I've got lots of classes I've been to and those in my mind. I think when I did my class this week, I thought I had to just do Ashtanga yoga.
Now you better know how to make your own own form, like the formation of the, now you know the formation of the class. You can make it easy to tough, that depends, or the moderate, whatever you want. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So whether you want to, so which one you prefer? Would you prefer Hatha Vinyasa or this dynamic flow for beginners?
For beginners, Hatha.
Hatha Vinyasa. So just make it easier for those who are like not enough flexible, who are beginners. But just go like if you got somebody advanced, like if you got somebody advanced people, then you just need to go with that dynamic flow and then make them feel this intensity.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
And so
Okay,
if you
then
want to add in
yeah.
some breathing or some pranayama, would you be adding that in at the end in a sitting
Yeah,
pose?
yeah. At the end of the class, you can always do the pranayama. It's completely fine,
Yeah. Okay.
because pranayama should always come after the yoga practice. It
Mm.
can be done before the practice, but if you're doing after the practice, it will open up your all holes in your body. Then it will give you more, you will be more conscious of your breath after doing
Mm.
the yoga poses.
And say if you wanted to teach ujjayi breathing in a class, could you do that at the start so that then people could use it in with their
Yeah. You can like give them an example how to make this ujjayi breathing in the class. And maximum there should be your thoracic breathing. Thoracic breathing and ujjayi breathing, that they matters a lot in your yoga poses. If you don't do
Okay.
both of them, then if you're doing abdomen breathing, then you won't have the same stretches what we are looking for. So just go
Oh,
for this ujjayi breathing or thoracic breathing all the time. Okay.
yes.
Yes. Okay, then if you want to ask anything else, you may ask.
With just thank you. With quickly with the dynamic flow. So we've done the twisting.
Mm-hmm.
Then are we then going into relaxing poses?
Yes. After twisting, basically we directly get to the shavasana, and then from shavasana, then when we are sitting up back, we can do pranayama, or before shavasana, we can do pranayama, or at
Okay.
the end of the session, we can do pranayama.
Thank you.
Okay, then let's finish today's session with one Om followed by three Shanti all together. Okay, take a deep breath in, close your eyes. Shanti,
Shanti,
Shanti, Shanti.
Shanti.
Join your hands together. Bend your head forward. Now open your eyes while blinking. Namaste, Jane.
Namaste to you and have a good rest of the day and thank you.
Thank you so much. You also have a nice day ahead.
Thank
See
you.
you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Tomorrow, yes. Bye bye.